Hi guys, today I wanted to do a video that I feel like is kind of necessary. So about 2 years ago I did a video called Feminism Rant, and I'd say like 75% of what I said in that video still holds true to what I think, but some other parts have changed, and I think that's important to admit when you've learned things and you've grown, because I think a lot of people, especially now, they think they said something once and now they have to hold true to it even if they don't necessarily believe what they said. And I think even a lot of my opinions about politics and feminism and a lot of equality, things like that, has changed since the 2016 election. That whole time really opened my eyes to the way things are, and that we haven't made the strides that need to be made. And like, obviously a lot of great things have happened, but not enough. And when it comes to feminism, I am a feminist. In that video I said I don't want to be called a feminist. I'm not a feminist. I would not label myself a feminist. And I think I said that because I still believe that the word feminist isn't exactly perfect for what it means. There's a reason so many people hate the word feminist and like say they don't identify as one, because it sounds like you think women are better than men, and like maybe that's a little bit true. Women are fighting for freedom. We just want freedom. We want to be able to do what we want to do and make the choices we want to make without feeling judged or hated or limited. And I think that I made a mistake in that video by also saying that I wouldn't mind living in the 50s or something like that. From an outside perspective, as a child, as a teenager, even in college, I didn't realize how unequal things were. I dealt with sexual assault and things like that, but never the way that I feel like feminism at that time when I made that video was a lot more talking about equal pay and, at the workplace. And I just didn't see it. My eyes weren't open to the truth. I've gotten a lot of comments on that video that definitely prove what I was saying was taken the wrong way. And I think I actually voiced my opinion pretty well in that video. I think I expressed what I meant pretty well. At the time that was how I felt, but I have changed what I feel. And a lot of people in the comments were like, feminism, oh, like horrible things. And I wasn't saying that at all. I said 100% in that video that I support what feminists do. I support everything, but I said I wasn't actively doing anything about it. And I think that's where I messed up. That's where I made a mistake, because I now do think I'm fighting for it, and I do speak out against it in my daily life, on social media, in videos, and in my writing on OPENLETER. I don't just support it now, but I advocate for it. And in that video there are some things I said that I 100% agree with, that a lot of feminists focus on things that aren't important. And not to say that they don't have the choice to do that, like that is what feminism is about, to do what you want to do. But I think some women say they're feminists, but attack other women, judge other women for maybe dressing more exposingly or something, and that's not feminism though. That's more about being judgmental and judging someone when it's that woman who gets to make up her mind. If a woman wants to look sexy, she can look sexy. If she wants to dress up for a guy, she wants to dress up for herself, she wants to dress up to make everyone at work think, damn. That's a woman's choice. That's what feminism is. A woman gets that choice of freedom to do what she wants, to make her own choices. And the really intense feminists, who I wouldn't even classify as feminists, they are seen that way, and that is why they are the reason that I think feminism is so looked down upon by so many people still to this day, because they overdo what the intent is, and they hold other women against it. And feminism isn't about judging other women or bringing other women down. It's about lifting all women up and supporting every woman for her choices, whether she wants to do this or that. Just because you don't agree with what someone's doing doesn't mean it's wrong. If you're the type of feminist who thinks, okay, I'm never gonna wear makeup, that's very degrading or whatever, go for it, but don't judge a woman who decides that she's a feminist and does want to wear makeup, because that's not your choice to decide if that's right for her. I think that's kind of where it becomes blurry. I wouldn't refer to those people as feminists, because it's all that a woman's choice, and that's what we're fighting for that freedom to make these decisions. And so that's why I think that in that video, I don't want to say I said it wrong, but I changed my mind. I've learned so much since then, and it makes me upset that I was so uneducated, to be honest, because at that point I thought I was really well educated and I wasn't. And I think that it really bothers me now, because I'm happy that I'm open to change, and I was open to learning and learned so much and changed my mind. But what's so upsetting is that there's so many people who are way more intense than I was in that video, and who just don't support feminism and think everything about it is terrible, and they're not open to learning. And that's what's so frustrating, is that they're not using their education and knowledge and facts to make their opinions. And, you know, obviously that's okay. People do that all the time. You're gonna not be 100% educated. You can't know everything. But in that video, I was using the education, the knowledge that I did have at that time, and I feel kind of stupid now for saying those things when I wasn't fully educated. Even now I'm not fully educated, but I'm more aware. I took what I had to my availability on the internet, in books, in magazines, anything, and made myself more aware. And I'm really happy I did that, and I'm happy I learned, and I'm 100% saying, yes, I made a mistake, I was wrong, I don't agree with what I said in that video anymore. I don't think it's something to hate me on, because I don't think I was cruel, I don't think I was anti-feminist in any way. I just think that I wasn't fully aware of the facts, and that's where my mistake lied. I shouldn't have made a video publicly talking about something I wasn't fully aware of. And not to say that that's so wrong, like everyone is at a different level of knowledge, and I get that, but it just kind of bothers me to know that many people, you know, speak out against feminism when they really don't know what it is, because they're saying all these things that aren't actually what feminism is. And I think that's kind of what I did in that video a tiny bit, where I said I know not all feminists are those intense people who are judging other women, but I don't know, I don't like what I said in that video, and I wanted to kind of bring that up because of so much stuff that's been happening with the Time's Up movement and the Me Too movement. I haven't really talked about that much on my channel because it's not an easy thing to talk about, but it needs to be talked about. And I think as these movements have come to light and been more talked about in media and everything, it's made me realize even more so than from the election how unbalanced power is in this country, from government and politics to healthcare to, I mean, everything pretty much. And it's sad and it's frustrating, and it actually makes me like physically angry. But I'm just I'm mad at the situation. I'm mad at myself for not being more educated. I was college educated in that video and still didn't know what I know now, and that's kind of annoying me. I think I've come to experience more, and I've learned more and wanted to learn more, and I think that's a lot where it comes from, is we all have the same knowledge at our fingertips. Not all, I mean, I'm saying all very broadly, but if you have the access to the internet, you have tons of knowledge available to you, and power and research and a million ways to learn from reputable sources, and it all comes down to wanting to learn. I mean, it's like in school even, you know, if you want to do the research and you want to take the time, you do better. And I think it comes to learning outside of school as well. If you want to learn more, you will learn more. And I think a lot of people don't. A lot of people have made up their mind and refuse to learn more and open their mind to the facts and more things that have come out. I'm really glad I'm not one of those people, because I'm always open to learning things and trying to understand the other side, which is still something I struggle with because I don't understand the other side at this point. But I'm glad that I was open to it, and I continue to be open to constantly learning more. And I think that a lot of me depended on other people to speak out. I thought, what am I going to do? What can I do to speak out against injustice and unbalance of power? Even if you don't think you have a power, that you have a voice, that anything that you do is going to help, that's not true. Because I think that even sending a tweet out, and I know it sounds stupid, but even sending a tweet out, a Facebook post, anything, it makes noise. And I know that sounds stupid, but I even posted a tweet and I put it on my Snapchat because I have more followers there, and I had 2 people reach out to me, one person saying thank you for sharing this, another person like trying to argue with me that I was wrong. And I think no matter what, that debate or that thankfulness does something, and it opens people's minds. Even if no one comments on your Facebook status or your tweet, someone read it and it hit something with someone, whether they disagree or not. I think it's important people see these topics in everyday life, and I know it's hard, and I think that's something else I always kind of did in like years prior. I didn't want to face things that were difficult. I think that's normal for someone who was that age. I didn't want to face the truth. I thought, there's no way our country could be this crappy. There's no way that this is so unbalanced. Like, there's just no way. That can't be true, until I experienced it myself and saw it with my own eyes. And I think that is where a lot of this comes from, because people don't see it. And I think a lot of people who are on the opposite side and are anti-feminist and like look down on feminists is because they don't get it. They don't get it, and they don't want to get it, and they don't want to learn. And I think that's kind of where I was at that point, is that I thought I learned all I could. I'm done. Like, I don't want to learn anything else. It's too sad. And now that I have, it's sad, it's frustrating, it's not easy to read such horrible things, but it's important to know the truth. I think that's also something that I've talked about in the past, is how I didn't feel like my college education did much for me. And I don't want to say that that's true for everyone. I think being educated is super important. I think that having an education is vital. And although it's frustrating to me that it's more about having that diploma to get a job than actually what you learned during your time at school, I think that our education system in America is completely a joke. But I do think that it's important to be educated. And even if that doesn't come with a diploma, do your own research. Go to the library and learn things, because it's important to be educated, and educated doesn't have to mean that you went to college or you got a degree or you became a doctor or something. It can mean that you traveled around the world and saw how everyone's treated and saw the level of poverty or inequality that's around the world, and that's a way of educating yourself. And it kind of bothers me that, when I was in school, I always thought, what's the point of history? It already happened. Why am I learning it? Why do I need to know this? But when something happened that mattered, that affected us now, that affected the way the world was going to work, affected society, we should know those things. And I think now, more than ever, history is so important, because things do happen over and over again. There are patterns, and things are repeated in history. It sounds stupid. History repeats itself, and I don't know how that could possibly happen. I don't know how you could see one thing happen in history and just let it keep happening again. But it does, and it's happening right now in our country, and I think that that's why education is so important, and reading the truth and the facts is so important, because that's what lets us know that something's wrong. That's what lets us know we're on a path to destruction, and we're on a path of negativity. That's also what we know is when we see the kids from Parkland standing up for what they believe in and making a voice and making change, demanding change. You look at that and you know they're making a change. You look at that and you're reminded of the suffragettes and all the other people in our history that have stood up for what was right. And that's what lets us know this is the beginning of a revolution, and this is a huge movement. But then there's other things that we look at now that are happening, and it reminds us this is bad, this has happened before, we need to prevent it this time. I think that not enough people have that knowledge. I watched a video about college students not knowing who the vice president was. These are college educated students. These are people in college who got into college and don't know who the vice president is, and I think that's awful. And I think a lot of young people, old people, anyone, they don't take the time to learn. And I know people in my own life who just don't take the time. They've either already come up with their thoughts and think they're right and that's it, or they just don't want to learn. They don't think it affects them. And I think that's a lot where my issue in that video, why I made a mistake, was because I didn't feel like this affected me. I didn't feel like feminism affected me, and I didn't see it. I didn't get how much the government impacted our health care. I was young and I was taken care of by my parents, and I wasn't independent enough to kind of realize it. And I think now I'm older, all these things that are coming to light, and I think it's great that, although I do think there's obviously negative sides of social media, I think that the fact that social media is so openly talking about politics is so important, because without it, I don't know if I ever would have reached out to educate myself and tried to learn more, because I wasn't aware. I didn't get that little mini introduction that maybe an author or an actress I follow tweeted. I didn't get that little introduction of, is that true? And then research it more. I wouldn't have gotten that without social media. So I do think for our generation it is so important to educate yourself, because so much impacts you that you don't even know. Government, the politics, all of the decisions, all these laws, they impact you. There's so many things wrong that I'm so glad I'm educated on now. And even though it's frustrating and it keeps me up at night sometimes, I'm so glad I know, because I'm ashamed of myself. To be honest, I'm ashamed of how I used to be. I'm ashamed of the fact that I used to call myself not a feminist. I used to say we shouldn't have a female president, because I followed into what society just kind of, what I heard, and what I thought, oh, okay, that makes sense, without learning the other side, without learning more. And that's people have the right to make decisions based on whatever they want to make decisions on, but making sure you learn more and reach out and research and talk to people and get both sides of the story before you make an educated opinion and take your stance and speak out against something is important, because the people that you see on Twitter and in Facebook comments and whatever, it's so clear which people are educated. It's so clear which people know the other side. And when I see people talking from the Republican side, let's say, you can tell the difference between those who are educated and those who aren't. And not saying, professionally educated or whatever, but those people who care to learn with the other side. You can be Republican and know and understand everything from the Democratic side, but if you are making these decisions against against so many things that are actually good for the world based on not being educated enough and just hearing hearsay and then what other people tell you, you're not making a bright decision. And I know that from experience. I was there. I'm ashamed to say that I 100% was influenced by the media, by society. I didn't know any better, but now I do, and I'm really glad I do, and I wanted to come on here and just like express that. And I do think that it's important just for me to let you know I changed my mind, that isn't where I stand anymore. But I just needed to come on here and say it because I'm doing a lot of research and writing about feminism, and it's been kind of nagging at me that I need that video when I wasn't fully educated, and that I'm still continuing to learn more and keep my mind open to everything. And you just haven't taken the time to learn about politics and government. I know it can sound boring and confusing, and even it is to me. I don't understand everything I read, but it's important to put that knowledge into use and take advantage of all the knowledge that you have and realize all of it does affect you, even if you can't see it. I'm a white woman. I'm not as oppressed as other races and things like that, and I get that, and I'm lucky, I guess you could put it that way. I just thought, that's not how it is here. That might be how it is for other people, but not for me. But that's not true. I just didn't see it. I just didn't see how it affected me until I got old enough that it could very directly affect me. And I feel like I've repeated myself quite a few times, and I just want to make this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. You kind of got where I was coming from. Please subscribe to see more from me. You can check out some of my articles on OpenLetter. I'll leave the link below. I'd appreciate it if you're interested in these kind of topics, and that's a place that you'd like to go check out. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.